Hello. It always feels so absurd to get on here in the middle of the afternoon because it's just like pandemonium outside this room. So if they're screaming, I'm sorry. My son right now has a ball of yarn that he has taken and made a web around his entire bedroom, down the stairs, out the door, and around the backyard. So that'll be fun to clean up later. Anyway, I was having a conversation with him this morning. He was really mad because nobody likes him and nobody in his family loves him and we all hate him. And so we had this conversation about, typically I try to just listen, but today I was a little bit fed up because I get this argument a lot. And I was like, what evidence do you have that nobody likes you? And so we started talking about, what things make him feel that way. And then we started talking about how, there's always good and bad happening at the same time. Life is duality. It is never one or the other. And so we started talking about what we're focusing on and how we are focusing on the negative and we're focusing on the things that make us sad and upset instead of focusing on the kind things his sisters do. Like his older sister cleans his room for him all the time. How sweet is that? And so we started talking about these different things and, that was a conversation with the 6-year-old. And as I left that, I started thinking about the story of the two wolves. And you've probably heard it, but it's an old fable or whatever about a grandfather telling his grandson that there are two wolves inside each of us. And there is one is love and light and goodness and peace and all of those things. And the other one is darkness and anger and jealousy and all of that. And the grandson says, well, Grandpa, which one wins? And he says, the one that you feed. So it's a total hash job of that story, but you get the idea. So then it got me thinking about, especially during this quarantine, especially during this time when, there's a lot of struggle happening and a lot of hard things, how it is really easy to focus on the negative. And I was out with some friends the other night and, we started talking and my natural tendency was to want to complain about having my kids home so much and how hard it is and all those. And that's valid. We need to do that sometimes. Sometimes we just need to let it out. But in this instance, I don't actually feel that way. Like the positives in this for me, and granted, I know it's not the same for everybody, but for me, the positives have far outweighed the negative. And so what is it about our culture where we bond over our suffering? It's like, who's suffering the worst? Who has it the worst? And I don't know. I've been thinking about that. Maybe it's because we stretch ourselves too thin and we're always looking to justify why we can't give our time and attention to everybody. And if we're suffering and things are so hard, then we have an excuse. We have a really valid excuse. So I don't know, but keep thinking about that and notice in your own life, are you buying into the negativity because it's healing for you to express that? And sometimes it is. Sometimes I gotta let it out. The other day I posted something about not being able to even go 5 seconds and pee. And that is a legit frustration of mine. And sometimes we have to make jokes about it and we have to let that out. But are we doing it in a healing way or are we doing it are we feeding that other wolf, right? So that's my thought to leave with you today. Also, the webinar on Sunday, this Sunday and next Thursday, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, Redefining Happy. I've been getting it together and working on the slides with my coach, and it's really coming together, and I'm really excited. Because it's the simple things, we want to change our lives, we want to be better, we want to feel better, and it tends to feel like it always has to be this fight with ourselves, this struggle, this I'm not committed enough, I'm not doing enough. And I don't believe that. I believe it's just where we're focusing, kind of like the wolf story, it's where we're putting our attention, it's the lens we're seeing things through. And the shifts that change our lives aren't like where we're finally just dig in and we finally get enough grit to do it. It's where we just let go, And so anyway, we'll talk more about that on Sunday. I hope you can join us. I'll put the link in the comments for Sunday and for Thursday. And yeah, I hope to see you there. If you know anybody who could use a little bit of inspiration, I would really, really, really love it if you would share it. Twice as many people, for every person who shares, twice as many people will see it. So it's really helpful for me. And anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. I love your guts, and I'll talk to you next time.